The Honourable Chris Bishop.
I move that the Land Transport Management Time of Use Charging Amendment Bill be now read a first time, and I nominate the Transport and Infrastructure Committee to consider the bill. Mr Speaker, congestion is a tax on time and productivity. It means we are away from home for longer, sitting in gridlock. It means fewer jobs being done, fewer goods being moved, and delays to services being delivered. This is actually quite a banner day in and amongst a, dare I say, banner couple of weeks for productivity and urban growth. Because successive governments of both parties and a select committee inquiry in 2021 has broadly come to the same conclusion, which is that time of use charging is something we need to do as a country to reduce congestion. And I'm really proud to be part of a government that is getting on with it. And I want to acknowledge the work of my predecessor in the transport portfolio, the Honourable Simeon Brown, who started this work, but I also want to acknowledge the work of the Honourable Michael Wood and others from the last Labor government that started this work as well. And this bill is different to that which was canvassed in the last Parliament, picks up on some of the ideas and takes it forward into 2024 and 2025. This bill, Mr Speaker, is a vital step towards improving the performance of our transport networks through a nationally consistent yet locally adaptable framework. It represents a strategic response to some of the most pressing challenges in the transport network, including congestion and demand for better transport solutions. The simple proposition is this: by charging motorists to travel on certain roads at peak times, we will encourage people to change the time or the way they travel, or the route they take, maximising the efficient use of our roading assets and keeping the traffic flowing freely. Faster, more reliable travel times will help increase economic growth and productivity, lower costs of businesses and their customers. Now, the Auckland Transport and the Mayor of Auckland have released a report this afternoon which shows that congestion in Auckland will cost the economy up to $2.6 billion per year by 2026. That is an extraordinary sum of money. That is $2.6 billion that could otherwise be deployed in economic activity that actually grows the economy. Previous modelling has shown that successful time of use charging could reduce congestion by up to 8 to 12% at peak times, improving travel time significantly. Now, 8 to 12%, let's call it 10 for the sake of argument. 10% congestion reduction at peak times might not sound like a lot, but actually the snowball effect, the compound effect of that at peak times actually has the effect of reducing travel time significantly. So just by spacing out when and how people travel on our roads can make a material difference to travel times and the ease of getting around. It is simply an economics problem. There's a fixed amount of road space and everyone converges on it at the same time. And the effect of that is congestion, because there's a fixed amount of space and there's a certain number of cars or vehicles travelling. And so the economists would tell you the simple way to solve that is use price. And that is exactly what other countries have done and other jurisdictions have done. I think of New York, which up until President Trump's executive order stopping it had experienced quite a reduction in congestion as a result of a 20-year journey to introduce congestion charging in New York. It's about the same amount of time we've been talking about it here. I was talking to some people the other day, and I think I'm right in saying that the first economic study into time of use pricing was by NZIER, and from memory it was back in 1994. Before you were born. Goodness gracious me. Well, Todd Rutherford wasn't alive, but back then the boffins at NZIER were doing studies into congestion pricing, and there's been, from memory, again, I don't want to mislead the House, but from memory, there's been about 20 studies since then by NZIER and all of the transport modelling agencies and the economists out there. And, you know, there's a few things that economists agree on, or broadly agree on. No, well, that's definitely not one of them. The only people who agree with capital gains are the lunatics in the Green Party. But there's a few things economists agree on. Well, Chloe Swarbrick, it's a shame she can't hear this, but I was going to say that they agree on broadly three things. One, free trade's good. Free trade raises incomes, free trade lowers the cost of production, and it lifts all boats. Free trade's good. They agree on that. They agree that rent control is stupid, and it lowers the quality of housing and disincentivises people from offering rental goods into the marketplace, and so you end up with stretched demand for rental housing because price controls like that don't work. So they broadly agree on that. By the way, that is Green Party policy. They're still banging on about how we need rent controls. It's dumb policy and they know it. And then the third thing they agree on is that time of use pricing or congestion pricing is good. And so I'm pleased to be on the side of economics on this side of the House. And every now and then the Green Party get there, but then sometimes they misread the text. But anyway, we'll wait and see where they vote on this bill. So as I say, sir, overseas time of use pricing schemes have been implemented. And we have taken some of the lessons in the policy design we have adopted for this bill. The first is that schemes need to be scalable, so there's an option to start small, build support and expand where needed. The purpose of the charge needs to be clear and the performance against this purpose needs to be measured and monitored. And that is what we will be doing through this proposal. The other lesson is that revenue needs to be reinvested into the area paying the charge and used to improve mobility and transport in the area. And that is part of it as well. People want to know that if they're paying for something, the money is going into a system that will get recycled into providing better transport choices and options. And central and local government need to collaborate for the schemes to be effective. And one simple reason for that in New Zealand is that central government owns the state highway network and local roads are owned by the city councils or the relevant territorial authorities. But of course people drive from one to the other and they don't well, nerds like me do this, but most people don't go from a state highway to a local road and go, was on state highway 1 and now I'm on the local road owned by the Horowhenua City District Council. Katie Nimmin does that. She goes off that expressway, which we're expanding, by the way, that Great Hawke's Bay Expressway into the State Highway, what is it up there? State Highway 2, yes, and of course Waikiri Gorge, also north of connecting my good friends' seats. But anyway, most people don't do that, so NZTA and local councils got to work together. So there's legislative amendments to Land Transport Management Act and the Land Transport Act 1998. This is enabling legislation. So this doesn't put in place congestion charging schemes, it's an enabling piece of legislation. And it takes a partnership approach, as I say. It will allow local authorities to collaborate with NZTA in forming scheme boards tasked with proposing and developing time of use charging schemes. Neighbouring councils within the region are invited to participate, promoting regional collaboration. We're all in favour of that. And it will be led by local councils but in partnership with NZTA. This is not about generating revenue from drivers. All net revenue from the schemes will be reinvested directly into transport projects in the region where the revenue is collected. This creates a self-sustaining cycle of continuous improvement, enhancing mobility and infrastructure. The funds will be additional, supplementing rather than replacing existing national and local transport funding. And of course, these schemes can even defer the need for network investment by reducing peak demand and improving traffic flow. Successful schemes optimise the use of existing infrastructure. And if you want a modern day example of something that I'm talking about, I think of the Northern Busway in Auckland, which was built in the 2007-2008. It was a bit controversial when it was built. 40% of traffic crossing the Auckland Harbour Bridge, 40% of people rather, take a bus. And so that has actually elongated the life of the bridge because many more people are just taking those fast direct buses to and from the shore and further beyond. It's a great example. By the way, it was $110 million in 2008 from memory. Had a benefit cost ratio of, they reckon, 1.1. It is almost certainly the single most successful transport project in New Zealand history because of the deferred investment that it has allowed the Harbour Bridge. We do need to get on with the Harbour Bridge, but we would have had to get on with it a lot sooner than if it hadn't been for the Northern Busway. And of course we've got the Northwestern Busway coming, airport to Botany, and of course other great investments like that. This is going to be fair and transparent, sir, to protect the social licence. It is going to be a bit controversial. I think my full expectation is that as we develop these schemes, there will be a bit of public debate about it. But the experience from overseas is it's edgy when you first introduce it, but then as people experience it and they see the scheme working, and they see that it's easy to get to work in the morning and home in the evening to spend time with the kids, and tradies find it easy to get around to do 3 jobs in a day rather than 2, people come to accept it, and that's been the experience from overseas. So as I say, sir, this bill is going off to select committee. I'm looking forward to the engagement from the opposition in relation to it. We do want to get it right. We're open to feedback and changes as the debate goes forward, but we do want to get on with it. It is a really important move for New Zealand's future. Thank you.